Comment on some recent things. All right. This will be our last topic we'll talk about to close out the podcast. So, as we know, we talked about how some players are forcing themselves out of their situations. We talked about James Harden, right? Ben Simmons, and now Kevin Durant. And Silver was asked about it. He said, "No one has suggested to me that Kevin Durant said he's not willing to live up to the terms of his contract. So to say you would like to play in another city is one thing. To say I'm not going to appear for training camp or certain games will potentially be a violation of his contract." So he says, "Look, this needs to be a two-way street. Teams provide enormous security and guarantees to the players, and the expectation is, in return, they will meet their end of the bargain. I'm realistic that there's always conversations that are going to go on behind closed doors. But we don't like to see players requesting trades, and we don't like seeing it play out the way that it has." So that's a quote from Adam Silver. So the player empowerment era, which has been really instituted by LeBron James, it's starting to take a hit. Silver has been a commissioner for a long time since David Stern, and he's been very supportive of this movement. These are some of the first times we see comments like this from Adam Silver. So this means the next CBA is going to involve some type of talk about this. Maybe you'll see you get paid for as many games as you play scenario. Because you got to think about it, man. Some fans save us so much money to try to see a player, but that player sits out. It's different if it's injury. Okay, we understand. But just because of low management, though, we don't like seeing that. And then if it's because a player doesn't want to be there anymore, it's like that takes a hit to your reputation as a franchise and as an ownership group. So it's not looking good, because you got to think about how the fans reacted when James Harden did his thing, right? I can only imagine what Houston fans felt with him doing those things. And then think about especially Philly. That was crazy, right?
Yeah, Philly let us know.
Yeah, Philly told us through the screens, man, what they felt about Ben Simmons. But still, this is not looking good. Now, depending on how KD plays this scenario out, it could get worse. We both believe that he's a hooper and he'll play. But worst case scenario, he doesn't get traded and he decides not to play. We'll be at the crossroads at that point. Because out of all the players that this happened to recently, Kevin Durant is the top dude after that. He's a top guy. He's better than James Harden. He's better than Ben Simmons. He has more stake. He's more of a face than those players are. This is arguably one of the best player in the NBA right now. And if he does it like this, and you allow it to happen, it'll set a precedent for other players to do it that's not on his level. And then I believe it'll open like a Pandora's box type situation. It's going to be bad. So as a league, you got to get a hold on it. You got to. I'm supportive of player empowerment. I think it's great. I think Alex Caruso talked about it recently on the Old Man in the Three. He had a good point. All we're doing now is realizing how much leverage we have as players, because obviously teams do the same thing, and they do. There's opportunity for them to upgrade. My contract's not up yet with this organization, but you're gonna trade me. It's complicated. It's very.
And also it's part of the business.
It is. It's a good point. It is. So I don't know, man. But I'm fearful based on how this could play out, how this can impact the players. That's my only thing.
Yeah. I understand what the commissioner was saying about it's a bad look for the brand is basically what I took from it as his standpoint. And yeah, in a way it is. But at the same time, this isn't very new when it comes to, let's sign you to a 3-year extension. Halfway through the second year, we're trading you to this team for whatever. And the team doesn't have to have an explanation. They don't have to be like, we committed to you, but we decided to change. They don't have to state that. And at the same time, players are realizing that. And it's just there was no loyalty. I've heard that term a lot. There's no loyalty, Guys feel like they go out, they play hard, and they get a good contract. They sign back with a team, and the team wants to do something different. They feel like, you don't have any loyalty to me, so why should I have it to you? And I get it, I just think that the load management thing, like you said, you brought up a good point about fans saving up. I look at ticket prices all the time. I'm like, not going to that one, or if you want to get a decent seat, it's you're going to have to cough up a good bit. So I completely understand it from that perspective. But at the same time, as a player, I respect that. You have to do what you have to do, but it's just the way you go about it. Don't do a pull James Harden coming to camp out of shape, game out of shape, or don't show up at all for practice. You still have to be professional in a way, but you can do that and stand up for yourself.
Yeah, I think that's the hit though. I think that's what happened. You had a James Harden situation, and then after that, the Ben Simmons situation. The back-to-back, that looked bad.
Yeah,
on the players, because these are top players doing this, behaving this way to get out of a situation.
True.
To choose not to show up. To choose not to do this, it's bad. It's different. I feel like you should have the right to request a trade, but it's all about how you do things. And if you're a good organization, if you want to trade a player, you'll be good with that too. You'll talk to the player and let them know, hey, we're thinking about, if you're a good organization, you would do that. Communication is key, but unfortunately, there are some teams that do things not in the most pleasant way. I agree with that. So it's it's tough, man. It's tough, man, because teams could do this. Teams do this stuff all the time. Players should be able to have some power to control their situation. I agree with all that. It's complicated. It's complicated.
Valid points on both sides.
It's good points on both sides, like you say. But I think ultimately the people that have the ultimate power are the owners, and the NBA is so far along in its support of its players than other leagues are, such as the NFL. I really love what the NBA does to support its players, but again, it all depends on how KD is going to handle this. If he does anything similar to Ben Simmons or James Harden, we could see something totally bad here. Because they'll start up negotiations soon.
See? What up? Thank you for tuning in to the Swish Masters Podcast, and thank you to our sponsor, SS96. Visit ss96.net and use the promo code Swish Masters for 15% off. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. 15% off on all store items. Hats, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever you need, SS96 has it. Also, don't forget to go and check out that music from Straight Stoner, produced by yours truly. You know what it is, Gut Gang, mobbing, sleepwalking. We out here. Thank you.